Hello everyone, welcome back to the Minecraft Book Club, the series where I play Minecraft while talking about books. And today we're going to continue talking about J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye, specifically chapters 10, 11, and 12, all the while we construct this beautiful building, the staple of any western town, a saloon. I know it says brewery/saloon. We're going to be building the brewery next episode. Today is just going to be the saloon. I think I spent like an hour and a half farming up this wood. Mostly the acacia. I had most of the spruce and jungle already. So, without further ado, let us begin with the summary. Last we left off, Holden had just reached the hotel and was kind of creeping on the other guests and critiquing them. So we're going to pick up at the hotel once again, and this time Holden is going to go down to the lounge. But before that, he spends some time talking about his little sister Phoebe and how she's so smart, and also really just how all of his siblings are smart, everyone except him. But yeah, he goes down to the Lavender Lounge, which I assume is just the lounge of the hotel. The first thing he does is he tries to get himself a drink, and of course the waiter's like, no dude, you are 16, you're very clearly 16, I'm not getting you a drink. So Holden's like, fine, whatever, I'll just get a Coke. So he's in this lounge in New York City at night, sipping his Coke, and he starts eyeing these girls. They're like 30 years old. And as he kind of just stares back at these girls and winks, they start giggling at him. So he goes over and he asks the blonde one to dance. He makes it very clear that he's only attracted to the blonde one and everyone else is ugly. I think it's a group of 3 girls. But he gets this blonde one to dance. And she kind of just dances but pays Holden no attention, just looking elsewhere the entire time. He attempts flirting with her a little bit, but she just kind of tells him to shut up and watch his mouth. So once he's done dancing with her, he offers to dance with the other girls, which he makes very clear are ugly to him. And he finds out that the girls are there just to basically find famous actors. So he trolls one of the uglier ones by saying that an actor just walked into the bar. So she gets all excited and tries to look for him. But then he's like, oh, he just left. So after a while, they end up leaving too, and Holden ends up paying for all their drinks. So once these ladies are gone, he once again has Jane back on the mind. He talks about how Jane and him used to golf. He actually taught her how to golf. And then he tells a story about when he was playing checkers with Jane. Her abusive dad came out and asked her what she did with his cigarettes, and she kind of just didn't answer him, so he went back into the house. And after that happened, Jane just starts to cry. And for some reason, Holden's normal reaction to this is like, it's time for kisses. So he just starts kissing her all over, and she just keeps crying, and he just keeps kissing her. And he makes it clear he never kissed her on the mouth, he just kisses her everywhere else. And then once he's done reminiscing about Jane, he talks about how he misses holding her hand. So after this, he makes his way over to another lounge, some place called Ernie's. And Ernie is some sort of pianist, plays the piano at his bar. So he calls up a cab, and the cab smells like vomit, and the driver's kind of a whack job. But you know, Holden being Holden, he's gotta ask the cab driver, hey man, when the lake freezes over, where did the ducks go? The cab driver gets kind of confused from this question, but then he answers Holden. He says, well, the fish get frozen under the water, and they're stuck in the ice, and they just absorb nutrients from the lake. But right before the driver drives off, after dropping Holden off at Ernie's, the driver looks at Holden and he says, Mother Nature takes care of all the fish. And then he drives off into the sunset, all beautiful and wonderful. So now Holden finds himself over at Ernie's bar, and of course Ernie is up there playing at the piano, just jamming out. However, Holden doesn't really seem to like Ernie that much, and he also decides that everyone watching Ernie and clapping for him, they're all just phonies and they're sheep. And I forget what he said exactly, but it's something along the lines of nobody understands Ernie's piano and they just clap because everyone else is clapping, or something like that. It was something stupid. So then Holden goes on a little rant in his head that if he was as good as Ernie is, he would just sit and play in a closet and he'd preserve all the goodness for himself. He wouldn't let the world listen to it because they'd just be phony about it or something like that. So he goes into the bar, and Ernie's seems a lot more laid back compared to the last one, considering the fact that he got himself a scotch and soda. So he's getting alcohol at this bar, despite visibly looking 16. But in the bar's defense, Holden did say it was pretty dark, so they probably couldn't see what he looked like. Whoa, whoa, whoa! So he gets his scotch and soda and starts critiquing the people to his left and right. On the left, there's some ugly girl stuck with a guy. And because she's ugly, Holden says that she has no other choice than to listen to the guy's boring conversation of talking about every single play that happened in a football game. Oh, I keep doing this. And then on his right, there's an Ivy League couple, and the guy just keeps feeling the girl up inside the bar while talking about like his friend that commits suicide or something like that. Something crazy. Holden's like, dude, this guy's bonkers. Anyway, as Holden's just sitting there, one of DB, his older brother, one of his friends, comes and talks to Holden. It's some girl, I think, that used to be really interested in DB. And she introduces her boyfriend, which is some guy in the Navy. And the Navy guy just gives Holden a really firm handshake, and Holden is like, oh, this guy's phony. He doesn't say that, it's just in his head. And they all chat for a bit, but then the girl's like, oh, we're gonna go back to our table. Holden, you should come join us. And then Holden's all like, oh, sorry, I was just about to leave. So then he leaves, and then he's all bitter and upset because he had to leave, but he wanted to stay there longer. And that is how the chapter ends. Alright, so before we get into the analysis of the book or any of the commentary, I just wanted to show off this building a bit. And obviously it's not done. There's massive holes and there's no texturing yet. But this is kind of what I have for the shape. This is definitely the best Western building we've built so far, except maybe the Hunter's supply from last episode. That one was pretty good. But I'm definitely improving, I think. We just got to add some windows, some doors, a porch, I think. Got to fill that in, and then do some texturing. But what I'm really proud of are these sides right here. This first building I built from like a tutorial, and I noticed that this thing has a frame. And then every single building I've built after that doesn't have a frame. Right? Even the Hunter's Outpost barely has a frame. It does up here, but it doesn't like on the sides. And that's because from most of the reference images I've looked at, it's just this giant like slab of wood. And that's the front of the building. But then they all have this really thin trim on the outside. So I was struggling with that for a bit. But I finally figured out that the trapdoors along the side like that work perfectly for this style of build. Although now that I have it here in survival, it really sucks because it blends in with the farms. But, you know, you get the idea. If you look at it from the side, it's a lot better. Not necessarily straight on, just because of the background colors. But still, you know, you get the idea. I'm just really happy because I finally feel like I'm improving with my building. It's definitely a learning process. Anyway, back to the book. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is how this segment of chapters specifically kind of read like an old man recounting tales of their youth. A lot of the stories in this chapter are just kind of whack in general. The tales just seem really crazy and absurd, and it's just those type of tales that you tell little children, I guess. Like, oh, back in my day, I used to go to the bar, and I'd dance with the 30-year-old women. Wah, wah, wah. You know, it's that type of story right now. I know I've mentioned that a lot, that it kind of just sounds like a old man retelling tales of their youth. But this, I don't know, there's just something about these chapters that really had that vibe to them. The side tangent about Jane's backstory also helped with that element, or that aspect. I feel like old people always go on those side tangents to add extra context, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like a feature of telling tales. I'm sure I'll eventually get to that point in my life, but right now, it's not a characteristic of my speaking at all. This guy right here is gonna kill all of my dang chickens, man. I know it's terrified of me. It knows what end is coming. I've killed a dog in this series already, alright? I'm sorry, man. It's just the way things are. String, though, that's cool. Have an egg. Also, quick question, right? Diamond helmet and diamond boots do the same amount of armor, right? 1.5. You can see that at the bottom. The diamond helmet costs 5 diamonds. Diamond boot costs 4 diamonds. Yet diamond boots can last for 429 hits, but the helmet's only 363? What is this nonsense? Got a little sidetracked there, it seems, but the second thing I want to talk about is, boy, is Holden thirsty, dude. This guy is constantly thinking about Jane to begin with, right? But then he goes to a bar. 30-year-old women, doesn't matter. They're double his age, doesn't matter. He wants to be with them. He loves women. He can't get enough of them. I'm wondering if this is just a puberty thing. You just get really addicted to women, I guess. I don't know. And he's just like figuring it out, maybe? I don't know. I have no comment on this other than like, hey, this is happening. Holden is thirsty. I have no reason for why he's thirsty other than probably puberty. But he is thirsty. Offensively against Holden, I have never known any of my friends going through puberty that like talking to older women. Like they enjoy flirting with older women. I've never heard of that. Maybe that's an old person thing that I don't understand, but I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Holden is just absolutely desperate right now. So the next thing I want to talk about is the obsession over celebrities. This is something that we see with the ladies, the 30-year-old ladies in that bar. They're kind of just there to try and find if they can, see a celebrity. That's a thunderstorm. That's a thunderstorm. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. That is actually terrifying. Get me out of this. That's a thunderstorm. I don't think you realize how bad a thunderstorm could be for us. All of my buildings are wood. I cannot deal with a thunderstorm today. Like all of this farm could just burn. That's a really bad thing. Everything is literally wood. Yeah, I am not dealing with fire spread. That is actually terrifying because, it might be cheaty to some people, but this is a lot of work and I do not want it to burn. And there's no reason to have fire tick on, so we're going to have that off. Anytime I run a command like that, I just open to LAN and then I run it. But I'll be sure to include every single command I do within the video. I just really don't want fire spread to burn everything, because that would suck. So fire tick is now false. And just to prove it, can't do cheats. But we shouldn't be able to burn anything now. So before I was rudely interrupted by the weather there, we were talking about the obsession over celebrities. And honestly, Americans obsess with celebrities way too much. I hate it. It's kind of gross. There is genuinely no reason to obsess over celebrities. Like, oh wow, they're so cool. That's about it. That's what celebrities should be. It's really weird camping out at a bar to see if you can find actors or famous people. There's no point to doing that. My personal opinion is that this is what America gets for not having a monarchy, which I know, hot take, but I feel like most countries with a monarchy, like the UK, really obsess over the families of the monarchy. Like you always hear about the British royal family and stuff. But because we don't have that, we've developed our own class of aristocrats that are, just Hollywood stars. I don't know if there's any basis to that, but that's just my opinion on the matter. I think obsession over celebrities is gross and is just happening because we don't have anything else to obsess over. There are some crazy people that will go out of their way to figure out things about celebrities and just know everything about the celebrity. Why would you do that? I do not understand why the Kardashians are a thing. What have they done? I genuinely don't know. They do nothing. They just sit there and we obsess over them for no reason. It's a stupid industry. I hate celebrities. There's actors like Chris Pratt who have no vocal range, but they get put into every single voice acting movie for no reason. I know of zero people that hear, oh, Chris Pratt's gonna be in that movie. I want to go watch it now. That's gonna be a good movie. Nothing against Chris Pratt, just everything against all celebrities though. Their job is genuinely just to be phony. I'm turning into Holden. I gotta stop. I know last episode I was complaining a lot about Holden's obsession over Jane. And while it's still weird, I guess it's less weird now that we know kind of their childhood history. It's still a little weird though, but I don't know, it's less weird. My opinion still stands though. He needs to do something other than just think about her. Gets kind of old. I think the last thing I want to talk about for this segment is how Holden is a yellow belly coward. This dude is straight up a pushover. So let's put ourselves in Holden's shoes real quick, alright? You went to one bar. You were denied alcohol because you're underage. You make your way to another bar that gives you alcohol. You get a drink, and then your older brother's friend invites you to go sit with them. You're like, oh, sorry, no, I was actually just on my way out. And then you leave. So you've thrown away your alcohol. Now you have to leave the bar, which, okay, your night is ruined, and you have to leave in disgrace. You have to leave disappointed in yourself because you weren't strong enough to just say, oh, sorry, I want to go sit somewhere else tonight. Or I don't want to interact with you tonight. I'm trying to meet new people. Or you could just go sit with these people and meet new people. Like, I don't get why he's at the bar in the first place if he's gonna deny meeting new people. It's like he goes to this bar to meet people, and then he's like, oh, you guys are all phony anyway. So it's really stupid. I hate Holden Caulfield. So yeah, that's about all I have to talk about for this segment. It's a fun little segment, I guess. Next episode, we'll be talking about the next 3 chapters, which of course are going to be chapters 13, 14, and 15. So if you're following along, be sure to read those. I know none of you guys are. So we're going to read a more interesting book next time. I already picked it out. We're going to have a nice festive book to read. Also, let me know what you guys think of this idea. But essentially, I think we're spending way too long on some of these books. I'm pretty sure this book is going to come out to a total of 10 episodes, including the review. Do you guys also think that's a little too long to spend on a book? Because honestly, this is way under my reading pace. I could probably finish this book in 2 days if I wanted to. So I was thinking, would you guys be more interested if, let's say, I did a maximum of 100 pages per episode or something? I sort of have the idea that each book we read should take up like 4 episodes, and then we'll do a 5th episode to review it. I think that'd be a cool way of splitting up the book compared to what I'm doing now. So I will be trying that out with the next book, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see if you guys like it more, or if I like it more, or whatnot, you know. A couple other benefits to doing it this way is, 1, new viewers can just jump in wherever, basically. Because right now, if you're a new viewer and you want to get caught up on the story, you'll have to watch like 9 episodes to get caught up. But if we do a book every 4 videos, they only have to watch like a maximum of 3 videos to get caught up ever. So I think that'd be beneficial. Secondly, the videos will probably get a lot more interesting. I feel like we're dragging along very slowly with Catcher in the Rye here. So if we basically do a book every 2 weeks, the content is just going to get more enjoyable because there's going to be more things to talk about. And obviously this won't be for every book we do. I think non-fiction books work really well with these longer formats just because each video can talk about a specific thing. But when it comes to fiction books like this or our next book, you know, it's a little harder to pull off. So yeah, I think from now on we'll do a maximum of like 6 videos per book unless it's really interesting, then we can sit it out for a few more videos. But let me know what you guys think about that idea. Anyway, here is our beautiful, beautiful saloon. We'll have to name this eventually. I'm also unsure if I want to put banners up on all the buildings saying like Saloon. Or over here just like Hunter. Barbecue. You know, I feel like it looks a little tacky, but it also looks kind of weird not having the letters up there on the false facade. So, I don't know. We'll figure that out eventually. I also forgot to grab cocoa beans from the jungle when I went, so I have no brown dye. But, I don't know. Maybe we can do like white with black. Regardless, that's going to be all for today's episode, guys. Thank you all for watching. Next episode, we'll be covering chapters 13, 14, and 15 from Catcher in the Rye, so stay tuned for that. I'm also pretty sure that the winter drop will drop, I think, the day this video gets uploaded, which is Tuesday, December 3rd. So we'll probably be in the next update for next episode. I don't know if we'll do anything cool yet. I don't see any pale gardens around us, so that might be a little complicated. But yeah, I appreciate all the support. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.